impossible. I'm gonna need a miracle to pull this off.
Luckily, I have the perfect plan to do this. By dividing Disneyland into 4 sections, I have created a path that mathematically ensures I am avoiding most of the longest waits in the park. We're starting with section 1, which is all of Toontown, then Matterhorn, then Main Street vehicles. It's the entire middle part of Disneyland. And if I want to stay on pace with my razor-tight schedule, I need to complete these 5 rides in less than 45 minutes. And remember,
we are not using Lightning Lane today. We're saving that $30.
Which means we need to find creative ways of beating the waits at Disneyland. And since I'm sure you want to know how to beat the waits at Disneyland, I'm going to be ranking each ride based on how easy it is to get a low wait time. Starting with this one that I was able to walk on in just 7 minutes.
This is ride number 1, ride 1 of 32. Let's go.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway generally has a long wait in the afternoon. However, for the first couple hours, the wait is quite low relative to other Disneyland e-ticket rides, which means it's just in the middle of easy and difficult to beat the wait.
Okay, lock in. Roger Rabbit's next, okay? We're locked in, we're locked in. Roger Rabbit is next. It's important that we go fast on this because we need to get to the left side like as quickly as possible because lines are gonna be pretty bad there. There's no one here, okay, perfect.
Now, I don't know how I did this, but I somehow walked through Roger Rabbit's maze of a queue.
The way I'm speeding around this queue is insane.
In 30 seconds, which got me on the next vehicle right before they were about to send it through the ride.
I waited like maybe 20 seconds for that ride.
For reasons that are beyond me, Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin consistently gets up to a wait that's a little bit higher than Runaway Railway. However, it also is a breeze to get on for the first couple hours of the park being open.
And we're about to land life Toontown at like a record pace. Gadget time, gadget time. Here, let's go around this way. Okay, 2 rides down. 3rd ride is up over here, Gadget Go Coaster. It shouldn't take that long. In fact, it should take like maybe 45 seconds. 18 minutes and 40 seconds into the speed run. We've done 2 rides already. This is our 3rd one right here. There's no line for it.
Chip 'n Dale's Gadget Coaster is probably the most tame ride in Toontown as far as wait times go. But beware, they usually only run 1 coaster at a time, which can hike the wait times up in the afternoon.
I told you, 45 seconds. We're already done. Okay, we need to get to Matterhorn as soon as possible. Toontown cleared very quickly.
And every time I complete one of the goals here in the top right, I will be 1 step closer to proving to Disney that you don't need to pay money to chase after low wait times.
Less than 24 minutes to clear Toontown. We're done. Everything's going according to plan so far. Nothing crazy has happened yet. Here's the single rider line.
Because I was using the single rider queue only 24 minutes after the park opened, it took me 1 minute and 5 seconds from the moment I got in line to get into my bobsled.
We just walked on Matterhorn. We have not waited at all yet. This is such a good plan. I'm so glad that I went with this plan. Each of these rides would have taken at least 20 to 40 minutes if I had done these later.
Which is definitely no lie for ride number 4, Matterhorn Bobsleds, one of the most popular rides at Disneyland, and for good reason. However, if you find yourself showing up even a little bit after the park opens for rope drop, you may encounter waits as high as 60 minutes, which makes it a very difficult ride to beat the wait on when you're with a group. But if you do what I just did and use single rider, it should be a walk-on for most of the morning.
We're gonna run around the corner to Main Street Vehicles, literally just right around here.
The Main Street Vehicles is an attraction that can be completed by riding any of the streetcars that go down Main Street. However, as I approached the front, I was having trouble finding a vehicle.
I'm not seeing any right now. It's a little concerning. There's one leaving right now, but oh, there's the horse. Is the horse like ready to go?
So I decided to wait for the incoming omnibus because I know from previous experience that the time between rotations of the horse takes a lot longer than any of the other vehicles. However, this may have not been the right decision.
Oh, the horse just started. You know what? Maybe I should have gone with the horse. It's okay. Indy's still broken down. Big Thunder's at 20 minutes.
If you like, if you want to record and get a better view, you sit up front with me.
Sure, yeah, why not? That sounds awesome. Holy crap. Look, guys. I'm in the driver's seat now. What the hell?
I'm really glad I went on the omnibus, even if the horse would have been a little bit faster. Not just because I got to sit in the front, but also because of this.
Oh, hey, what's up? I just met one of you guys.
The Main Street Vehicles are always a walk-on, but as I learned during my last speedrun, you need to keep the schedule of the parades that go down Main Street in mind, because they will shut down the vehicles during them.
We're gonna go down Adventureland, so we're done with Section 1. Section 1 is done. We're going on to Section 2, which is every single ride that's on the left at Disneyland, and it might take until like 1 p.m. to even finish all that. The way we're gonna start this out is Indiana Jones is broken down right now, so we're gonna pass by, and we're gonna see if it's like about to reopen, like what's going on with that.
However, finding the next ride ended up being a lot more difficult than I thought.
Okay, thank you. That's a no-go. Yeah, let's do Big Thunder. Oh, it looks a little busy over there. Oh, shoot. This is definitely not 20 minutes. Yeah, no, that's not 20 minutes. That's crazy.
With Indy broken down and Big Thunder being a long wait already, my next best option for this section would be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. However, that ride was also broken down, which put me in a really bad spot.
Maybe Jungle Cruise. I mean, Jungle Cruise and Pirates aren't ones that I really need to prioritize so badly right now.
And every second I can't decide which ride to go on is a second closer to falling off track of being able to ride every ride before 8 p.m. tonight, which would prove that paying Disney to skip the lines is the only way to do Disneyland rides. So I need to decide which ride to do fast.
But Pirates looks like a lower weight. This will be a good break. We're gonna go on Pirates. We'll like literally walk on this one.
Pirates of the Caribbean usually never had a long wait before getting Lightning Lane, but then when it did get Lightning Lane, the standby wait time started to look pretty bad because Lightning Lane got the priority over standby, which honestly really goes to show that just the mere existence of Lightning Lane is what creates the incentive or long wait times to buy Lightning Lane. However, Pirates just recently was taken off Lightning Lane and now the waits are back to normal, making it a fairly easy one to get on. The one thing you have to worry about is the boats clogging up at the end.
Oh no, we're clogged. The boats are clogged. This isn't good.
After waiting 6 minutes through the boat traffic jam,
Come on, speed these boats up, bruh. Lock in, Parrot.
I got off Pirates and went to Jungle Cruise since Indiana Jones was still broken down.
9:07, we're getting on Jungle Cruise. The queue goes upstairs though. Oh god. This might be bad.
Okay, so I may have messed up. I really should have gone on Jungle Cruise before doing Pirates because now I have to face a Jungle Cruise queue that goes upstairs, which is not ideal for this challenge. In fact, it will probably put us behind schedule to complete this in under 12 hours. However, Indiana Jones is still closed down, so if I can walk on Indiana Jones after it reopens using the single rider queue, then I'll be back on track.
Indiana Jones is open. It's a 30-minute wait right now. I don't know if they're gonna do single rider this early. I hope they do though. That would be big if I can just get on Indiana Jones right now and not have to worry about it.
And not too long after that, I got on ride number 7. Jungle Cruise for some reason can get to a long wait, but it's a very fluid queue since they can load the boats up pretty quickly. A good rule of thumb is that as long as the upstairs queue does not go into this section, you won't be waiting any more than 20 minutes.
So just recently, like a month or two ago, Indiana Jones got single rider. We're about to see if they have it open right now because the queue isn't always open, because if not, I don't quite know what to do. I think, yeah, it's a 45-minute wait, so I'm not waiting in that. No shot I'm waiting in Indiana Jones for 45 minutes. Hopefully they have single rider. I don't know. They do. Wait, single rider?
Yes, here you go. Just make sure to have it on, okay?
Thank you so much. Yes, dude, let's freaking go. Okay.
This was big because single rider is usually going to be a much shorter wait than the standby wait because of the way you get loaded onto the ride vehicle.
Single rider just queues up as like an extra seat. So like parties of 3, if there's a row of 4, I'm like the 4th one. So it really just depends on if we get a lot of parties of 3. Oh my god, okay, we're just walking on. We waited like maybe, I don't know, 7 to 8 minutes for Indy. That was awesome, okay.
Indiana Jones Adventure, unfortunately though, is probably one of the worst rides at Disneyland as far as wait times go. If you don't rope drop it, your wait is most likely going to be 45 minutes. And that's if the ride doesn't break down while you're waiting for it, which happens on average 2 to 3 times a day. But the single rider queue does give you a good alternative to that if they decide to keep it around, which shockingly puts it a little higher than normal on the ranking.
Don't tell me, that wasn't big fun.
Oh no, that really was not big fun. Okay, yeah, so Big Thunder's still saying 25. I think we're just gonna go over there. If the Mark Twain is docked, we're gonna go on the Mark Twain. If not, then we're gonna do Big Thunder.
The reason I want to wait until I see the boat docked to ride it is because there is only one Mark Twain riverboat, and if I can walk on it while they are boarding people, I can save as much as 15 minutes waiting for it.
No, it's not docked. Okay, then I think we're gonna wait for Big Thunder. The hope is that once we're done with Big Thunder, we can get on Mark Twain.
Only issue is that when I pulled up to the Big Thunder queue, it looked a lot longer than 25 minutes.
Okay, Big Thunder might take a fat minute actually. 35? I'll do 35. I don't mind that.
Waiting 35 minutes will definitely bump me back behind schedule. However, since Haunted Mansion is closed due to the seasonal overlay, there really isn't a lot of options on this side of the park. And if I wait any longer for Big Thunder, I will face a bigger wait time later in the day. So I waited in line, which did put me a little bit behind schedule. However, as I was about to board the train, I saw something that would instantly put me back on track. The Mark Twain riverboat.
Okay, speak of the devil, the Mark Twain is showing up right now. If we are fast enough, this is still possible. We can still get on that rotation of it. It might just be possible. It's kind of out of my control. We're gonna have to speed walk like crazy when we get off this ride.
Now heading on to Ride 9, Big Thunder Mountain, I'm in a race against the boat.
I think we'll be able to get on because they take a little bit to load on. It's possible. I think we're gonna get on that right after this.
Big Thunder Mountain generally hangs around a 30 to 45 minute wait. The queue is more fluid than something like Indiana Jones because of the large train capacity, and as long as the queue that is outside of the front entrance is kept to a minimal, your wait will most likely not be that long.
Okay, it's docked right now. It's still possible. It's the goat. It's still there. Oh, it's still possible. I don't know. We might be too late though. We have to hurry. Lock in, lock in, lock in. Oh crap, is it going? No, it's not moving. Wait, I can't tell if it's moving or not. I'm running over there, bro. Oh, yes, yes. We're getting on it. Okay, we got on. Dude, I'm so happy right now. This is the happiest you've ever seen anyone get on the Mark Twain.
After this ride, we have 6 more to complete this section of the speed run.
Here, let's strategize. Let me figure it out. So the only thing we really have to worry about for this section is Galaxy's Edge, which Rise is going to be the only one that's really scary. We have to do Bayou Country. Tiana's is still not open, so I don't even want to go over there yet. So that's why I think we should just do Galaxy's Edge first.
As I already explained, the Mark Twain riverboat operates on a rotation. If you make it to the dock when the boat is there, you won't have to wait anything, which makes this a really easy one to get through. However, be aware of the reduced hours for this one due to Phantasmic, which happens on the rivers at night. Oh, and by the way, this is not going to be the last time we go around this river today because of these 2 rides.
Here's the Columbia. It's going to open at 11 o'clock. They have these canoes right here. So we're going to have to go around this river like 3 times, which is kind of insane. Okay, we're going to go on Falcon after this. We should walk on Falcon because of single rider.
What I discovered during my last speed run is that if you use the single rider line for Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, you can literally just skip the entire wait and walk on the ride because barely anyone uses it.
One cool trick about single rider, by the way, is that when you walk into this room, there's 2 sets of stairs. Straight ahead there's this, but if you go around the corner, there's also this set of stairs, and usually this one's not as busy.
But what I wasn't expecting to happen was this.
And then, did you want to wait for any more crew members or just like?
I can do it by myself.
Alright, you're gonna be
Oh,
like
okay,
colored
I'll do it.
green.
I can go on this on my own? What? Oh, dude, it's because there's a pre-show. I was like, why is no one in line for this? It said a 40-minute wait. I saw people in line, but it's because there's a pre-show. This is gonna be good content. Wait, I'm hyped for this. This is gonna be crazy. What the hell is happening, guys? Why am I the only one?
Welcome, welcome. Right this way, my friend.
It's just me, Hondo. It's just me. Thank you.
I'll be honest, the last like 3 times I've ever done this ride has been through single rider, and you never have to wait with single rider for this ride.
Only one pilot.
Oh, only one pilot. I heard it.
Left pilot, make the jump to light speed.
I'm making the jump to okay. I have to reach over for it. This is crazy.
However, standby waits can go as high as 40 minutes, but thankfully, the ride isn't going to reach peak attendance until later in the day.
Hey, not bad.
It's okay. I'm pretty sure the max is only like 13,000, but that's decent for only being one pilot. Okay, so not only did I walk on that, I also was the only one on it. That's crazy. That's never happened to me before. I'm gonna check the wait for Rise.
Rise of the Resistance, arguably the worst ride as far as wait times go, is next on my list. However, I will not get in line if all signs are pointing to the line being over 1 hour, because I could just come back when the wait is looking a little better. But what exactly are these signs to look out for?
It's really just about looking at the queue size rather than looking at the wait time, and also looking to see how many lightning lane people are in the queue right now. The exterior lightning lane queue is empty. That's good. That's really good. We'd like to see that. Okay, how deep does this queue go? Oh, they are sending people down there right now, but it's still not that bad. Usually it'll sometimes go way down there. I think it's a go. I think we're doing it.
Even though I ended up waiting 55 minutes, I was expecting to wait quite a bit for this one. Also, being in line for that long gave Tiana's Bayou Adventure the opportunity to reopen.
Okay, it looks like Tiana's just opened, so I'd say right after this, we get on Tiana's.
In fact, by the time I boarded the ride, I was still ahead of schedule, something that I would be dying to have in just a few hours.
It was like a 50-minute wait to the Ray Room, but that's not that bad. It should be a walk-on from here because I know the trick.
The trick, once you board the shuttle, is to wait right next to the door you entered and then head down the shortest of the 2 queues inside the Star Destroyer.
All right, we got this. We so got this.
Rise of the Resistance is one of the best rides in the park, and Disney knows that, which is why you need to pay the price, literally, if you want to get on this one without waiting. If they added single rider to this ride, like at Hollywood Studios and Disney World, then that would be the best advice for those who don't want to pay money or wait. But instead, your best bet is to simply look at how many people are in the exterior standby queue compared to how big the actual queue space is. And make sure the Lightning Lane queue isn't backed up with guests who will be prioritized before you. This is definitely one of the hardest rides to get a break on.
Okay, we're done with Galaxy's Edge. I think I just want to get Tiana's over with. We'll do Tiana's. It's single rider. The only thing is though, if I walk past the canoes and the canoes are like queuing up right there, we're just gonna do the canoes.
And that's exactly what happened.
We're gonna go for the canoes, I think.
Before I got on the canoes, I noticed that the predictably large afternoon crowds are beginning to show up.
85 minutes for Tiana's. Whoa.
Thankfully, I plan on using single rider for Tiana's, which should cut that wait time down by a lot. After that, it's just the Winnie the Pooh ride and the sailing ship Columbia for section 2 of the speedrun, which should be a breeze as long as the Columbia is open.
Okay, on the app it said it was closed, but it's open. Okay, good. That's good. I just need to get on that after I do all the rides here.
But little did I know, ending section 2 would prove to be a much more difficult task than just that.
All right, I need to use my gas.
The Davy Crockett Explorer canoes are never going to be more than a 10-minute wait. Honestly, you'd be lucky to even get a full boat of people because of how unpopular this attraction is. Which, and hate me for this if you want, is kind of a shame because the cast really make this ride a fun one.
I hope you guys are having fun because this is pretty much the whole ride. Yeah.
And it's a super easy ride as far as wait times go.
Very humbling experience going from being in an air-conditioned queue of Res Resistance to going on the Davy Crockett Explorer canoes in the heat immediately after. Is this single rider? Oh, okay. Okay, that's not that bad.
It took about 15 minutes to get into the loading room for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and then while in line, this happened.
All right. Okay, I don't know how I did it, but I skipped the single rider queue.
I still had probably 5 more minutes to wait, so the moral of the story is to just stay observant when in the loading room, because the cast might just let you skip the line sometimes.
I'm gonna get wet on this. It's like, there's water all over the ground. We're totally getting wet on this.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the moment is one of the most popular attractions in Disneyland.
Okay, we're good.
But once the summer season ends, you can expect the waits to go down, making it a decently accessible ride throughout the day.
Okay, now we're gonna do the secret single rider for Winnie the Pooh, the Roo Pass. Because the Roo Pass, it's similar to the Buddy Pass for Monsters Inc. and California Adventure. It's like meant for 2 people, but I'm just 1 person, so I don't even know if they're gonna let me in, but I'm gonna try it.
The Roo Pass ended up locking in for me because I waited 2 minutes for what was a 15-minute wait.
Well, that worked out well. We're like walking on this now.
The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh is probably one of the easiest rides to get on at Disneyland.
Dude, Pooh is on his drug trip right now. What is happening?
Because not only does it never get over a 20-minute wait, but on top of that, it also has the Roo Pass, which lets parties of 1 or 2 basically skip the entire line.
Okay, another ride down. Now we have to walk all the way to the sailing ship Columbia. If I see that thing docked, I might start running.
Okay, so the sailing ship Columbia and the Mark Twain riverboat load on at the same dock. A good way to figure out where each boat is in the river rotation is that if you see one of the boats about halfway through the river, the other is most likely showing up at the dock, which is why as I was leaving Bayou Country and saw this, I began to panic.
Mark Twain's halfway through, so I bet you sailing ship, it might be docked right now. I don't know if we're gonna make it. We need to lock in right now if we wanna make it. I don't know if it's docked yet.
Even though I had suspicions, I didn't have a good view of the dock, so I wasn't 100% sure if it was docked yet, until...
Oh, it's docked. Okay, we need to lock in. We need to hurry. I see it right there. Please let me go on this one. If I can make this, this would be so awesome, but if not, it's gonna mess up the whole run. Crap, I don't think they're deboarding right now. Okay, I made it. Are they boarding yet? Wait, I think I missed it. Yeah, I think I just missed it. Crap. That actually really sucks.
This one mess up may have costed me the entire run, because I have no other rides in this section to do except the Columbia. So now I'm forced to begin section 3 before finishing section 2, throwing me wildly off track from completing this in less than 12 hours.
Let's go to Fantasyland. We're gonna do the shortest ride there, and then we're gonna loop back around and we're gonna wait, because I don't know when it's gonna come. I don't know when the next sailing ship is gonna come, because this is what sucks, is that the Mark Twain and the sailing ship load on at the same dock. So if I get there and there's no boats there, I don't know which one's gonna come. It could be the Mark Twain. I'm actually gonna crash out so hard if it's the Mark Twain.
Section 3 is every ride in Fantasyland except Casey Jr. and Storybook, since they're both closed for refurbishment. My original hope was to get this section done within 4 hours. However, since the sailing ship Columbia closes for the day at 3:30, I want to do that ride as quickly as possible before committing to section 3.
I think the carousel said 5 minutes. I kind of doubt. I mean, I guess it really just depends on the vibe and Fantasyland, but I say we just do one ride there and then we get on the sailing ship. If we can get on the sailing ship, then I can mobile order food and I can wait in Peter Pan after. Yeah, we're doing carousel. We're gonna have to wait a rotation, but it'll be fine.
King Arthur's Carousel is the very definition of a rotation ride. Each rotation, or ride around the carousel, takes about a minute and a half, but most of the waiting actually takes place in between rotations since the cast has to load people off and then on the ride and make sure they're all buckled up. That being said, this ride usually never gets over a 10-minute wait, which makes it one of the easier Fantasyland rides to get on in the afternoon.
I'm speed walking like a madman now. I really need the Columbia to be here.
I currently have no idea where in the rotation the Columbia is, but I am assuming that it is getting close to the dock due to how long it took me to get through the carousel.
It would just be really good, like, peace of mind if I can just get on this Columbia. What's docked? What's docked? I can't see it. I'm just assuming the Columbia's there. Oh my God, is that the Columbia? It's going. I missed it again. That really sucks. It's fine, it's fine. I'm just gonna go on it. We'll see how long this adventure takes from start to finish, but I really need to get sailing ship over with.
I figured there was no point in playing this cat and mouse game with the sailing ship Columbia, so I decided to wait at the dock for it to show up again.
That's the wrong boat. Wrong boat, bro. I don't need that boat. I don't know. It's like I'd rather not walk back and forth again just for me to like miss the boat again. So it's like I'm just gonna wait. It's fine. Oh my God. She's here.
So far, I've gone through this speedrun with a pretty good mood, but this flub hit me pretty hard and had me complaining about every little inconvenience.
It's getting pretty hot. It could be worse, but it's pretty hot right now. My shoulder is starting to hurt a lot from this camera. I'm gonna go downstairs because there's shade downstairs.
Even though I had worked so hard to get on this boat, little did I know that this would end up being one of the biggest mistakes of the speedrun.
Since this is a fine
I'm tired. I'm just sitting down in this corner. There's like no one down here. I just need to sit down for a second.
The sailing ship Columbia is exactly the same as the Mark Twain as far as wait times go. However, its hours of operation being 11 to 3:30 make it a lot more inconvenient to get on than the Mark Twain, placing it just below it.
My mobile order is ready for pickup. Okay, that's where we're going after this. We're getting there. We're passing like next to Galaxy's Edge.
As the boat slowly got closer to the end of its rotation, I went back up to the top to get ready to leave, which is when the absolutely devastating news hit us.
Alrighty folks, we are experiencing some maintenance concerns.
Oh God, this might be bad. I've seen videos of people get stuck on the Mark Twain. They have to be like rescued back on the freaking the raft that takes you to the island. I have my pizza order. It said that it was ready. I have to go pick it up at window 1. I'm hungry. Oh my God.
As we sat there in the middle of the river, I looked at the app to see if there were any signs of us moving again.
It's not us, it's the Mark Twain. Mark Twain is temporarily closed right now. And it's docked right now, so that's why we can't move. I didn't think I was gonna be spending an hour for sailing ship Columbia. This is bad. This is actually bad.
The longer it took for our boat to move, the more my mind was racing.
I was just thinking about how if I had gotten on the sailing ship when I was rushing to it after Peru, I wouldn't have had to deal with this. I would be in Fantasyland right now.
Oh, and also the more delusional I got.
Hey, well, at least look, we got the freaking, what's it called? Tomorrowland. What? Am I insane? I need food right now. I'm so hungry. Tom Sawyer Island is just chilling here. But I see the Mark Twain's paddles are spinning now, so hopefully they got it figured out. I don't know.
Soon after that, the Mark Twain left the dock and we began moving again.
Okay, we're finally getting off the Columbia.
And we hope
only
you'll be
took
sailing with us
45
again
minutes.
soon.
Can you spiel about having tickets out?
We ask that you please have your tickets out, ready to scan. Thank you so
Wait,
much.
I don't know if this is this allowed?
Welcome back. Come here, Elsa.
Thank you. Okay, here is the dilemma. I am doing a no lightning lane Disneyland speedrun. I get broken down on the sailing ship Columbia. It wasn't too big of a deal. It sucked. I get off the sailing ship Columbia and they say, hey, we're gonna give everyone a multi-experience pass because you guys got broken down on. Here's the question though, do I use the multi-experience pass? Technically, this is supposed to be a no lightning lane speedrun.
Using this fast pass would most likely instantly put me back on track from the time I lost being stuck on the boat. But that's not what this video is about. I want to prove to you guys that I can do this without any fancy lightning lane tricks, faster than if I did have lightning lane.
Well, I kind of don't want to use it because I kind of want to prove to myself that I can do it without it. I don't think I'm gonna use it.
And with that, I officially completed Section 2 and headed back into Fantasyland to chip away at Section 3 after picking up some pizza at Red Rose Tavern.
Oh wait, but that looks like a long line. Yeah, no, I'm not getting that line for Peter Pan. Hold on. Yeah, we're gonna do Snow White instead. I got the pizza from Red Rose Tavern and I kind of like folded it. This is my food situation right now. I have it in this bag. It's good though. Give it like a 7 out of 10, decent pizza.
And after eating the pizza, I got to the front of the Snow White queue in just 15 minutes.
Okay, and just like that, we are off on our next ride, Snow White.
Fantasyland is a very unique land in Disneyland because just about every ride does not offer Lightning Lane, which means it's going to be your best bet during the peak afternoon times if you don't want to buy Lightning Lane. As far as the Fantasyland dark rides like this one go, Snow White is somewhere in the middle of being accessible and inaccessible, which places it here on the grand list.
Now, so the name of the game for section 3, I don't know if you can hear me, it's so loud here.
Okay, so what I was trying to say is the name of the game for section 3 is to literally just look at the queues of the rides and decide whether or not to go on them. Since none of the standby queues are affected by Lightning Lane, it usually can be pretty easy at determining what the wait will be just by looking for certain visual hints. For example,
Peter Pan, it could be better.
when the Peter Pan queue occupies these front switchbacks and this area off to the right, the wait is going to be around 40 to 45 minutes.
I feel like we can do better on Pinocchio.
Anything that isn't straight through the door for Pinocchio is going to be over a 10-minute wait, which is pretty bad for that ride. If I can use these visual hints to get a relatively good wait for every ride in Fantasyland, then I can put myself back on track to completing this speedrun in less than 12 hours. Ultimately, after Snow White, I decided to do Dumbo because the queue was not occupying the entire extended area out here, and I knew that we wouldn't be waiting any more than 25 minutes, which is decent for Dumbo in the afternoon.
Yeah, it doesn't actually look that bad right now in Fantasyland. In fact, I think after this we should do Alice in Wonderland because it's saying 30 minutes, which is relatively good for Alice in Wonderland.
Even though Fantasyland is probably the best land to save for the afternoon for a speedrun, I would not recommend it due to the heat.
I feel like the Columbia was just a really big setback and it's just like totally killed the vibe. And the heat is really not helping. The heat is making it worse. Okay, we're about to go on Dumbo now.
Dumbo the Flying Elephant has very consistent rotations of about 24 people every 5 minutes, which makes it a very predictable ride for wait times. Also, Dumbo is a great ride for checking in on the queues of nearby rides.
Pinocchio doesn't look too bad. We'll do Pinocchio and then we'll do Mr. Toad and then we'll do Peter Pan. And then we'll think about going over there to do Alice in Wonderland and the Teacups.
Luckily for me, after getting off Dumbo, I went straight into a short queue for Pinocchio's Daring Journey.
Okay, this isn't that bad for Pinocchio. We're gonna wait maybe 5 more minutes. We'll see if Peter Pan or Mr. Toad is better after we're done with this. The AC above me. It's hitting just right. Oh, we have to move now. No. I need a miracle on one of these next rides to really revive my spirit. I don't know.
Thankfully, Pinocchio was less than a 10-minute wait.
Pleasure Island. I love Pleasure Island.
This is definitely the easiest Fantasyland dark ride to get on. It is very rare that wait times go too high above a 10-minute wait.
Let's check on Peter Pan and Mr. Toad. You know, this is like exceptionally bad for Mr. Toad. If you see this, run. Let's see what this queue looks like. It's okay. Where does the line start here? It's saying 30 minutes. I guess we will see if that's true. It's currently 3:13.
At this point, I've just barely recovered to being back on track to finishing within 12 hours due to the short waits at the Fantasyland rides I've done so far. However, I don't know if it was the heat making me go insane, but I spent the first 5 minutes waiting doing this.
There comes a time when you're in line and you're just like tired and bored and you decide to draw. So this is what I drew. It's a picture of me on the sailing ship Columbia with an upside down smiley face. The cast members saying lol we stuck and I'm just saying cry emoji. Those are supposed to be the canons in it. It didn't turn out that well. I never claimed that I was good at drawing.
However, just 20 minutes later, I quickly found out that my lack of drawing skills were the least of my concerns.
We're currently experiencing some technical difficulties at this time. We do not have an estimated time for when we'll resume flights to Neverland. If you'd like to keep your place in line.
No one's gonna get out. Yeah, no one's getting out. The question is, do I get out?
This is the worst possible thing that could happen during a speedrun, because at this point, I had maybe 10 more minutes to wait to get to the front of the line. But unless the cast fixes the ride, the longer I wait, the more time I waste. So the question is, do I stay in line and hope for it to reopen, or do I leave and take this 25-minute time loss?
Hold on, let me look at some data before I make this decision to get out. Okay, this could take as long as 123 minutes or as short as 12 minutes. I probably should have gotten out of line, but like, I'm just watching the cast members. It looks like it won't be that bad of a breakdown, I don't know.
After a few minutes, the vehicle started moving again, which gave me a lot of hope. However, that didn't quite mean the ride was fixed.
They're getting everyone off. They're able to move them to get everyone off, but they're not boarding new people on. I'm hoping they're just trying to get everyone off first and then they'll board new people, or they have more of a problem. I don't know. I feel like I need to just stay in line at this point. It's been too long since it even broke down.
However, with every second that passed, I could feel the regret of my decision lingering in my mind. In order to stay sane, I had to hype myself up over every movement of the vehicles.
We might be able to get back on in a second. I bet they're just probably testing it. People are on the ride now. Okay, I'm glad I stayed in. It was like maybe 20 minutes. Still, it's a time loss nonetheless. We're gonna really need like a couple miracles at this point if we want to get less than 12 hours. That took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but we're on Peter Pan, yay! Here we go! I'm so tired.
Peter Pan's flight doesn't even need to break down for it to have bad wait times, because unless you rope drop it, you are guaranteed to wait at least 30 minutes for it.
I still have to do Nemo tonight, oh my god.
It's one of the most consistent rides for wait times, and unfortunately, it is not consistently low.
Okay, we're gonna check on Toads. If it's really, really bad, then we'll go around the corner, but if not, we're just gonna do Toads.
As I went out to check on Mr. Toads, the queue looked just about the same as I saw it an hour ago before getting on Peter Pan.
It just hasn't budged though, that's the thing. Like, no, we're not doing that. 25 minutes for Toads is crazy. Why is it that long of a wait right now?
Instead, I decided to do the teacups.
I need a win. And teacups will not take that long. Oh, this is so bad. I don't think, there's no way we finish this by 8 p.m. tonight. It's gonna take 13 hours at least. There's no way it's gonna take 12 hours.
If I want any chance of keeping this insane goal of speedrunning Disneyland faster than with Lightning Lane alive, then I cannot spend any more than 2 hours finishing up Fantasyland. Technically, I would still be behind my schedule, which did include some buffer room, but that is all completely out the window now. Mathematically, it is still possible, but there is no more room for mess ups. Even just a minor setback could spell doom for the entire speedrun. I need to get incredibly locked in.
All right, we got Mark up. Are we gonna do Alice or are we gonna do Toads after teacups? We gotta pick our poison. Alice is posted at 30, Toads is posted at 25. Of the two, I think Alice is probably the better deal.
Just like Pinocchio, the Mad Tea Party barely ever goes over a 10-minute wait, making it one of the easiest rides to get on at Disneyland.
Oh wait, I'm supposed to spin it the other way. Why am I using my energy to spin this? I'm so tired.
Which is good for me because I need as many low weights as I can get.
Alice in Wonderland, here we come. I was thinking that maybe we'd get lucky in Fantasyland. I don't think that's gonna happen because it's the afternoon, but maybe during the evening when we're in Tomorrowland, things will be better.
Luckily for me, I was actually wrong on this because I was able to catch a break on Alice by only waiting 20 minutes instead of 30, which began to put me back on track.
Okay, not a bad wait for Alice in Wonderland. There's our caterpillar. Let's not leave my phone on this ride.
Alice in Wonderland is right next to Peter Pan as far as wait times go. It usually sits around 25 to 35 minutes during the afternoon, which can make it a really difficult one to get through. However, my luck on this ride has been undefeated for 3 speedruns now.
We're just gonna lock in on Toads. We're almost done with Fantasyland. We're so close.
In fact, I was feeling so good about my time save at Alice that I decided to quickly pick up a cold brew to revive my energy as I finished off section 3.
Let's take a look at Toads as we prepare for this. Oh, see, it's not as bad. It's a little bad, but it's not as bad. See, I knew that I wasn't crazy. I knew that like Toads was just, it was just unreasonable earlier, but now it looks like more like a 20-minute wait. Okay, back to Red Rose Tavern. Didn't think I'd be coming here again, but here we go. This cold brew, we gotta chug it. Yeah, it's like a honey cream cold brew. It's not bad, it's pretty good. We need this to revive our spirits.
After chugging the cold brew in line for Toads, I got on ride number 24 in just over 15 minutes.
Should I do the meme where you like die when you go through the... Okay, we're getting on Weasel.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride fluctuates from 10 to 25 minutes throughout the day. In fact, it's probably the most fluid queue of all the Fantasyland dark rides.
Oh no, not the Supreme Court.
As long as you see a relatively empty exterior queue, you'll be in good shape waiting for this one.
We can get out of Fantasyland now. We're going to Small World now. Oh, thank God, bro. Get me out of here. Get me out of this place. This is like some new version of hell.
With the time saves at Alice and Toads, as long as we keep up the speed, there is a chance we can finish this speed run in less than 12 hours.
I'm going to check the app real quick and just see what the wait says for Small World. 30 minutes? Ugh. Let's see though, because maybe it's not 30 minutes. I don't think this is gonna take 30 minutes. This may take 20 minutes.
And just a few moments later, I got my suspicions confirmed by the app.
Dude, what do you know? It just went down to 20 minutes. All right, it's Small World time. Yay. I can't wait to go into an air-conditioned room for 20 minutes.
Despite offering Lightning Lane, it's It's a Small World usually has a very light standby queue, since the boats hold so much capacity and don't require a lot of load on time. In fact, the posted standby wait for this ride is usually higher than what you're actually going to wait because of this. The only thing you really need to worry about for Small World is the scary hippo.
Bro, not the hippo. We still need to go on your ride. We still need to go on Nemo. 25 rides down, 7 more to go. We're gonna do the railroad next. Oh, there's not that much of a wait. Okay, good. We've been at this for 9 hours and 55 minutes. We've got 2 more hours if we want to hit that 12-hour goal. I don't think that's gonna happen. I want to be a little more realistic, but let's try to do this in under 13 hours. How about that?
Accepting this reality was a really difficult decision. Did none of those time saves matter? Was this entire run doomed to fail the moment I was seconds late to the Columbia? Do you really need to buy Lightning Lane in order to do everything in Disneyland? In fact, it was so hard to accept this that I just had to check the wait times one more time to see if this was true.
You know what? The wait times here are not looking that good. 15 minutes for Nemo, 65 minutes for Space Mountain. That's probably going to translate to maybe 20, 25 in Single Rider. Maybe we could do this in less than 12 hours. I don't know. It's possible. Is it possible? I don't know. We'll see.
It may be barely possible to complete this in under 12 hours with these exceptionally low wait times, so I'm going to give it my all in Section 4.
Okay, we better move it on. Once we get to Tomorrowland, we're locking in.
The Disneyland Railroad wait time honestly depends on what station you are boarding from. Ideally, you want to board from a station that people tend to deboard at the most, which will give you a better chance of getting on the next train. Right here is a ranking from worst to best of the stations you should wait at.
I'm thinking we're gonna go for Nemo. Let me see. Oh, Nemo went up to 25. Maybe Autopia then. We just have 6 more rides. They are all in this land.
And I decided to start with Autopia because the ride looked like a near walk-on.
Dude, I am so locked in right now. We're doing this. So locked in, they thought I was in prison. That was not a long wait. That was like 10 minutes. So yeah, we're doing good right now. About to vlog and drive. This is probably dangerous in real life, but it's okay. We're not in real life. We're in Disneyland.
Autopia's wait can fluctuate depending on how many lanes are operational, but it generally isn't going to be that bad of a wait because of the lack of Lightning Lane usage.
Nemo would not be that long of a wait right now, but I also think that Space Mountain's not gonna be that bad either. Damn, okay. No, we're gonna do Space Mountain because I have a crazy plan.
And the plan that I went on to say ended up being the final strategy to be made for this speed run.
I have looked at the data. I'm 80% sure that Nemo is going to continuously go down from here. We need to have the monorail be our last ride because you don't actually have to do the monorail going from Tomorrowland to Downtown Disney and then back to Tomorrowland for it to be considered complete. You just need to go from Tomorrowland to Downtown Disney. And if that's the last ride, then I can get off there early and that saves me some time because I'm not having to come back into Disneyland to do the rest of the rides. Our best bet is to save those 2 for last. Do Nemo and then do the monorail. Monorail's last one and then we're done.
And to set this plan in motion, I got in line for the single rider queue of Space Mountain.
5 rides in an hour and a half is what we need to do if we want to do this in less than 12 hours.
By the way, Star Tours was closed for refurbishment the day I did this speedrun.
I don't know if it's possible. I'm just as curious as you are. I'm gonna try my damn hardest to make it possible.
However, as I got closer to the front of the line, tragedy struck the Space Mountain queue.
Okay, we've run into a problem. I just pulled out the app and I saw this. Why? This is the 3rd time this has happened to me. The cast hasn't even told us yet. I just like looked at the app and I saw it.
But right as I was about to admit that it would be impossible to finish this challenge, as if Walt Disney himself were looking down upon my speedrun, the cast let me through to the next part of the queue.
Okay, well they're letting us in, so I got a pass. Okay, I think we're chilling though, because I'm getting on the ride. Like they wouldn't have let me in if not. So, no bro, it still says it's broken down. It still says temporarily closed, but it is very not temporarily closed. They are loading people on the ride right now. It does not look temporarily closed.
And just a few minutes later, I boarded one of my favorite rides of all time at Disneyland, ride number 28, Space Mountain.
Okay, here we go, Space Mountain. Front row too.
Space Mountain can be notorious for long wait times and for having ruthless Lightning Lane return times. Even the single rider queue, depending on the day, isn't always the secret weapon it usually is for other rides, making this one of the most difficult rides to beat the wait on at Disneyland.
Ride 28 complete. We need to lock in 4 more rides left.
I need to take every possible time save if I want to keep this goal alive.
Oh, here, let's skip over here. We're going through the store. It's a time save. Buzz Lightyear, what does it look like?
Unfortunately for me, Buzz Lightyear had about a 30-minute wait when I arrived to it. However, Astro Orbiter had a much more reasonable queue, so I went for that one instead. And as I got to the front of Astro Orbiter, the excessive Buzz Lightyear queue was really starting to concern me.
You know, I really don't want to make Buzz Lightyear the last ride of the run again. However, it is like, I don't want to go on it right now. I don't want to go on it after this.
Ride number 29, Astro Orbiter, is basically a copy and paste of Dumbo operationally, but usually you can find lower waits for this one because Dumbo is just a more popular ride for whatever reason.
You know what? It's a switchback right here and then it just goes straight in. It's at a 35-minute wait though, but I don't believe that.
Seeing as the app has lied to me a few times today and the Buzz Lightyear queue was looking lighter than what I saw in line for Astro Orbiter, I decided to take the risk and get in line.
Okay, I told you that the wait time for Nemo was gonna go down. It's 10 minutes now. We're on the home stretch. We're so close. After this, I think we're gonna do Nemo and then we'll end it off with the monorail.
And with just under 45 minutes to do all of that, it's a good thing that Buzz Lightyear really wasn't a 35-minute wait.
Let's see if we can get a good score. I'm so bad at this game. I can't aim for on this game.
Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters is generally a walk-on for the first few hours of the day. In fact, this ride doesn't really pick up traction until the afternoon and evening when everyone decides to use their lightning lanes on it, having done all of the other more popular rides.
We are now going to Nemo. Yeah, Nemo's at 10 minutes. Okay, we're going on Nemo. And then we're taking the monorail to Downtown Disney. We're gonna end this in Downtown Disney. I'm gonna have to really cut it close if I want to get under 12 hours.
Which made it good that I waited the shortest I've ever waited for Nemo in my life.
Okay, thank God we're about to get on this one. Technically, there is enough time, but again, it's like we have to be razor thin.
I was so concerned for time that I almost forgot how uncomfortable of a ride Nemo is.
Very cramped here. What is happening?
Finding Nemo Submarine Voyage has the worst rotations of any ride at Disneyland. Only 40 people can fit in these tiny submarines, the ride takes about 15 minutes, and they generally have 4 submarines running at one time, which makes for excruciating afternoon waits. But if, for whatever reason, you still want to subject yourself to this uncomfortable experience, then just make sure to do this ride either in the morning or evening.
Wow, I was quite literally sitting on the stairs for that entire ride. That was pretty bad. We have one more ride to do, and it is the monorail. We only have to take this monorail into Downtown Disney, and then that's it. Even if I don't make this goal, like, I'm still just so impressed that I was able to do everything that I did today. There were a lot of very low points. I was literally in line for Peter Pan and the ride broke down while I was in line for it. The sailing ship Columbia, it literally broke down while I was on it. But even through that, we've still been able to do all this. I persevered, and that's what matters at the end of the day. And now we're about to go on the final ride.
I don't think I've ever seen the monorail go over a 10-minute wait, making it a very easy one to get on no matter the time of day, thus completing our Disneyland wait time difficulty tier list.
Wow, look, dude, everyone's here. Everyone's here to celebrate my speed run. Once we get out of this exit queue, we're done. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm ready to stop the timer. It's happening. It's happening. Oh my God. Oh my God, we did it. We just completed the Disneyland speedrun without lightning lane. Our time was 12 hours, 37 minutes, and 39 seconds. I unfortunately did not get my goal of under 12 hours. However, when I did my first ever Disneyland speedrun, that was with lightning lane and with early entry. I saved myself 30 bucks because I didn't even buy lightning lane.
So I decided to spend that saved lightning lane money on some well-deserved food. But if you want to see me do this challenge with lightning lane, then check out this video.
What if I told you that with 5 easy steps, I can guarantee that you will be the very first person in line for your favorite ride at Disneyland? This is coming from someone who's ridden every ride in the park twice, or I guess thrice if you count California Adventure, and as always, without fail, the first person at the front of the rope at rope drop. Step 1 of rope dropping at Disneyland has to do with parking. Now, if you're staying at a hotel that's within walking distance of Disneyland, then you don't have to worry about this, but most of you guys need to figure out where you're gonna park your car. A lot of people end up going with one of the Disney parking lots. They go with the Toy Story parking lot or the Mickey and Friends parking lot, but let me tell you right now, do not, I repeat, do not park at those parking lots. The reason is because those parking lots don't open until 7 a.m. and by that point, there's gonna be people on foot that are already going through security at 7 a.m. They're always going to beat you at rope drop. Instead, you should park here at the Anaheim Garden Grove parking lot. It costs about the same as the Disney parking lots, but what's important is that it's open 24/7, which means you can park here earlier. So now that you've parked your car, it's time to walk to the Harbor Boulevard entrance of Disneyland. It's currently 6:20. I would recommend that at the latest you start walking around like 6:40-ish. The security opens at 7, so we want to get there a little bit before 7. Also a reminder, this this security entrance is going to be the closest to the theme parks. There's a few other security entrances around the Disneyland Resort, but this security entrance is by far the closest one to the two theme parks. They open all of the security at the same time, so you're going to be the first person basically to the theme parks if you go through this entrance. So they just opened this gate. They usually open this gate at 6:30, so we're right on time. We just got here at 6:30. Step 3 of rope dropping Disneyland is getting through security and getting to your park entrance gate. Now, like I said, it's 6:30, so we still have to wait 30 more minutes out here. But once it's 7, we're gonna have first dibs to security and the park entrance.
It's important noting that Disneyland is on this side and DCA is on this side. And many people think that you should line up for the security line that's closer to the park that you're going to, but everyone is funneled through the middle after security, so it honestly doesn't really matter, just pick the shortest line. Now that I've gotten through security, we're moving on to step 4, which is to line up in front of the gates at Disneyland. Pick a gate, preferably one close to one of the sides, but honestly it doesn't really matter at this point, just pick a gate that has little to no line. It's currently 7:03, we still have to wait until 7:20 before the gates actually open. Depending on what day it is, the gates will open at either 7:20 or 7:30, and this is because of early entry, which is a perk for Disney hotel guests that lets them begin riding certain rides at 7:30 a.m. instead of 8. These are the days that Disneyland does early entry and California Adventure. They usually switch off days. On a day where Disneyland doesn't have early entry, the gates wouldn't actually open until 7:30 a.m.
Okay, so now we're in Disneyland. So right now, Main Street is the only thing that's open right now. No rides are open at the moment. Important to note, none of the rides actually open until 8 o'clock. Now, I had a bit of a holdup when they were scanning us in, I had a little bit of a holdup ahead of me, so we'll see how close I get to the rope. I'm assuming most of these people are gonna be early entry people though. So you're gonna have to put in some speed walking into it. Okay, so when you get close to the castle, you're gonna see a bunch of ropes. There's a rope over here for Tomorrowland, rope over here for Fantasyland, for Frontierland over here, and then over here for Adventureland. Now this leads us to step 5, which is now that we're in rope drop position, what ride should we rope drop?
Quite honestly, there is no right or wrong answer to this question. This is your vacation. What rides are you prioritizing most? Pick a popular ride to start with, and then afterwards do the rides nearby it while you still have the low crowd rope drop advantage. I'm going to show you what this would look like for a handful of popular attractions. Like this video if you want to see my recommended rope drop strategies for California Adventure. Strategy 1 would be to rope drop Space Mountain, then go on Star Tours and Buzz Lightyear. If you are eager for the challenge, you could also begin at Space Mountain and then go up to Matterhorn, another super popular attraction. I actually did this in a video recently and I was able to do it pretty quickly, but I will admit I did use the single rider line for Matterhorn. Strategy 2 is to rope drop Peter Pan and then do various rides in Fantasyland. I've done this numerous times. This is actually the strat I would recommend if you are trying to ride every ride in the park in one day. It's important to do Peter Pan first because it's easily the most popular ride in Fantasyland. After that, consider going to Alice in Wonderland or Dumbo, since those get pretty crowded in the afternoon as well. However, if you're going on a day that has early entry, I wouldn't recommend doing this because the Peter Pan line is already going to be filled up with early entry guests. Before we get to strat 3, I want to point out a fatal mistake that a lot of people make, which is rope dropping Rise of the Resistance. Admittedly, you can do this. I have done it before, but just know that if you do this, it will probably be the only ride that you have the rope drop advantage for, because this is a pretty long ride and it's secluded from everything else. This ride is also pretty inconsistent and may just break down at rope drop. I know Rise of the Resistance is a ride you probably want to do, so maybe try heading in that direction a little bit after rope drop to find a 45-minute wait for it. But again, this is your vacation. Do what you want. At this point, you can probably see that rope dropping is really just starting with a popular ride and then doing the rides around it. I could see a rope drop strategy that includes Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Haunted Mansion in the future. If Mickey and Minnie's is a priority, you could start with that and then do the 2 in Toontown. It all depends on what you want to do most. And now I'm going to show you strategy number 3.
We're gonna try to rope drop Indiana Jones, Jungle Cruise, and Pirates. And this should take a little under an hour. This would be the Adventureland strat. This is what you would do if you were rope dropping at Adventureland.
The rest of this video is me attempting this rope drop strategy. If you like this video and want to learn more about not waiting in line at Disneyland, make sure to check out my Patreon linked below. It's just $2 a month and you get a bunch of perks. Anyways, enjoy the rest of the video.
The dude with the hat over there is the line leader. You're not allowed to like pass him. This guy right here, he's the line leader. So I'd say we did pretty good. We got very close to the front. I think we're barely gonna make it on the first vehicle, so we did a pretty good job.
Well, my friends, your moment is drawing near. Already I am envious of the wonders that await you, if you avoid the eyes of God.
Okay, we're about to get on our vehicle and it's 8:06. So hey, 6 minutes in, we're not doing bad. All right, first vehicle, 808, we're on the ride.
Snakes, you guys are on your own.
Don't tell me that wasn't big fun.
That was big fun. Okay, so what time is it now? It's now 8:12. We're gonna do Jungle Cruise next. Let's see if there's a wait. I don't think there is gonna be any significant wait for it. Probably maybe 5 minutes, 10 if we're unlucky.
Yeah, that's what you chose Jungle Cruise.
It's 8:14 and we're heading in line for Jungle Cruise now. Not much of a line at all. It just goes around the corner right here and then we get there. This should probably take 5 minutes at most. This is not gonna take long at all.
All the way down this way, folks. Right over here, all the way down towards the front. Welcome, welcome, watch your head. All right, ladies and gentlemen, wave goodbye, guys. Wave goodbye to civilization. Yeah, you'll never see those people ever again. Thank goodness. All right, welcome aboard, friends, to the world